Sri Sathguru Vijayate Gnanananda Sarasvathi Swami Brahmaikarupanyaha Padayo Pranatavayam. All along you heard the nice, beautiful, engaging stories of Sri Balakrishna, but always there should be the corresponding. When there is a zenith, there should be also the Pacific. So let us go to some dry academic subjects. That is Vatsalya Rasa. What is Vatsalya Rasa? Generally, rasas, those who are exposed to fine arts like dance, music, etc., definitely they would have come across the terms rasa and the number of rasas, etc. The rasas are counted as 9: Sringara, Hasya, Karuna, Raudra, Veera, Bhayanakaha, Bivat, Sadhguru, Santascha, Rasah, Purvai, Rudaha. So rasas are only
We lost him.
should Vatsalya be counted as a rasa? That's the question. Before going into this, we will have this particular thing. Namely, there is one beautiful variety, a genre of literature in Tamil. It is called Pillai Tamil. Pillai Tamil has got, that is in Tamil, we have got 96 சிற்றிலக்கியங்கள், 96 types of what is called smaller type of literature. Mahakavyas, these are called, say, Silapadikaram, Manimegalai, Sivak Sindhamani, Aimperunkapyangal. In Sanskrit also we have Raghuvam, Sambhavam, things like that. These are called Mahakavyas. But they say it's Mahakavyas, there are Khandakavyas in Sanskrit, and there are genre of such literature. Pallu, Pillai Tamil, Parani, etc., etc. They are available. Pillai Tamil means that speaks of the childhood of or the children's literature. So 10 different what is called stages of each and every child are the hero. That is the Patudai Talaivan or Padupurul. Whatever we are going to speak about, that is taken up and that is being described. And now, if you come into Sanskrit tradition, generally the childhood traditions of many of the gods are not described. Say, for example, for Shiva or Brahma or any other god, you don't have childhood, what is called the pranks or childhood description, all those things. They are not described. The Bala leelas of them are not there. Shiva is not supposed to be described. There is also a tradition. Shiva is not to be described as a childhood, what is called a god at all. And Shiva is not taking incarnation also. In Tamil, there is a concept, Pirava Yakai Periyo. Shiva does not take any incarnation at all. Not only that, but the childhood is described of what is called Subramanya is described, Kartikeya Skanda or Vinayaka. Definitely there are references. And Meenakshi Ammi Pillai Tamil. That is Meenakshi also, because these are the gods who appeared or sprung forth. So Meenakshi appeared on the golden lotus in Madurai. So since she was what is called appeared as that, there is the tradition to describe their childhood, but not very elaborately, very detailed. Then in Subramanya also, only a few leelas are described. Vinayak also. For Rama too, not much of description of the childhood is there. Only Tulsidas describes Rama's childhood, whereas for what is called in Tamil Nadu, in Kumbakonam there is a Ramaswamy temple. In that Ramaswamy temple, you find Rama going to school and Rama's childhood and all those things. You find the murals are there. Tulsidas is describing Rama's childhood. In fact, that is Manthara's problems are considered to be Rama dealing with her not in a very favorable way during his childhood. That is considered to be. And the previous speaker, Madam Sarda, while describing it, how when what is called Bhattadri is describing the description, giving the description of the leelas of Krishna, and if they are not in Bhagavatam, then he tried to what is called to take the permission of Krishna, whether you have done it like that. Only after the permission of Krishna, it has been incorporated in the Narayaniyam. That same idea is there in Peripuranam and all those things. Sorry, Periyalvars and all those people. These people also have given lots of what is called descriptions of the very different leelas of God, including childhood leelas. But it is said, when these leelas are not found in Bhagavatam and such Purana, how can these leelas be there? It's being presented that they had it during their insight, their mystical insight, and they experienced it. So everything need not be described in Purana, everything would not have been given. So what these people have experienced by their mystical insights through their what is called meditation, etc., they have incorporated it. So the description, seeing the leelas, etc., are not only given for sages, the Alvars and Nayanmars and such great people are also equally what is called great people, like what is called able to have the insights of the leelas of these people. So we find more of such leela, hence the question, Balakrishna. Of course, the word Balavinayaka and Balasubramanya also are there. So Balakrishna is more famous, and his leelas are described. And like that, there are many of the Pillai Tamil also come, Arahat Pillai Tamil, and such Pillai Tamils have come. And what is this rasa? Now let us go into, I have a photo about the need for Vatsalya, how Vatsalya get in the more with what is called the incorporation of the childhood description, the childhood enjoyment and engagement of these people, of these godheads, etc. The need for Vatsalya rasa is being felt. Rasas are, after all, not what is called what is given by the sages like Bharata, but they are what is called developing also. It depends on people's experience. So since it is depending on people's experience, and if more people have felt, as they say, golden formula, if more people would have felt the pleasure of this particular rasa, and if they would have broken box office records, naturally those things can get accommodated. So the Vatsalya rasa also is accommodated, even though it has not been what is called incorporated into the nine, because it can be taken as what is called a manifestation of or a subvariety of the Sringara rasa, Sringara being what is called love. So it is another type of affection. Hence, such things as bhakti, etc., this could be incorporated, and it has been incorporated. That is as part of Sringara. Like that, in the Veera also there are Pandita Veera, Daya Veera, Dana Veera, etc. There are varieties. They have, even though they have not considered as main rasas, yet they have become part and parcel of the sub rasas. Like that, Sringara itself has got many of the different types of Sringara, Bhakti and Vatsalya, etc., being part of it. And now, if you look at Taittiriya Upanishad, it starts, the second valley is called Brahmananda Valley. It starts, Brahmavida Apnoti Param. Brahmavite Paramapnoti. One who knows the Brahman, he gets the supreme, he gets the highest goal, highest result. And what is that Brahman? Tadesha Bhikta Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. It goes on defining it. And where to see? That is Yoveda Nihidam Guhaya. That has to be seen in the heart, cave of the heart. How to find the cave of the heart? How go into the heart? Then you find the description of the Panchakosas, Prana, Annamaya Kosa, Pranamaya Kosa, Manomaya Kosa, Vijnanamaya Kosa, and Anandamaya Kosa. Every kosa is being eulogized by subsequent verse. Tadapyesha Sloko Bhavati. Subsequently, it is eulogized. While describing Anandamaya Kosa, it is beyond our knowledge, beyond our comprehension. That is Brahmapucham Pratishta. The underlying, the bedrock of Anandamaya Kosa is beyond our comprehension. Yeah, asanneva sabhavati. So it is asanniva, as if non-existing, because it is not an object of knowledge. It cannot be known. It is we who becomes that, what is called the bedrock. It is we who become that. Hence, it cannot be known as an object. Hence, it is said asanneva sabhavati. It goes on. But how to prove it? Shankara himself says, Dustarkatu viramyatam srutimatas tarkonu sandhiyatam, in his parting advice. Sopana Panchaka. That is, Vedic Anumana is to be followed. Veda itself has given Anumanas to know certain things. Because human being essentially a rational one, they will not be accepting anything which cannot be presented to them. Hence, what happens? Such a thing has to be presented. So, Veda itself, Taittiriya Upanishads itself gives an Anumana, and it gives 5 reasons. Srishti, Rasalabha, Pranana, Bhayahetu, and Abhay Pratishta. The second reason is called Rasa, Rasanubhava, Rasa, Raso Vaisaha, Rasam Hevayam Labdvanandi Bhavati. Rasa means Ananda. So the Brahman is Anandamaya. Sorry, Brahman is of the nature of Ananda, and that Ananda gets reflected in Sadguru Subhadesa also. You can find you get creature comfort, you need creature comfort, and when the creature comfort is not there, you find it a little bit difficult to enjoy. So once the creature comfort is given to you, you feel happy, and then but that happiness does not stand. That is not what is called lasting, and you just crave for another creature comfort. That is another facility. In between these two, there is a certain moment. There is certain moment without any craving, without any feeling of longing, yearning, etc. There is a sort of peacefulness. There is a sort of quietude. That quietude is the real happiness, and we are not realizing it. We don't understand. In between two trying to what is called satisfy your nature, that quietude is there. That quietude is the reflection. That what is called actually reflect the Ananda Swarupa of Brahman, and you enjoy it. And how to enjoy it? Here it comes very important. How to enjoy it? There, I'm coming to literature part of it. Samyoga, that is, they describe Vibhava, Anubhava, Vyabhichari Samyogad Rasanishpatihi. That is Vibhava, Anubhava. Vibhava, let us take some instant situation. When you look at what is called a villain and a hero, both of them are, they, what is called, there is a fight between each other. Fight means they have certain mental incompatibility. So one becomes Vibhava. The incompatibility important point. If it is life, then there is personality, then there is attachment, all the problems. We take sides. When we take side, we are able to enjoy if our side wins, and we are not able to enjoy if the opponent wins. And not only that, it becomes also problematic whether we will be able to sustain our victory, etc. So this sort of problem will always be there. But now what happens? When it becomes literature, there this sort of attachment is no longer there. The characters are not belonging to us, and we are not attached to the characters, or not attached to the what is called the actors who are doing it. So slowly what happens? We start looking at the, maybe there are different reasons because of want of time, etc. I'm not going to delve deep into it. We get attached to the story, and from story it becomes generalized. No longer it is an individual character, no longer it is an individual actor, no longer it is an individual character, no longer it is the character in the story, but it becomes generalized one. When it becomes generalized one, there is no attachment, there is no personal attachment, there is no likes and dislikes, etc. There is only universalization. When this universalization, which is called the sadharanikarana, generalization, this generalization is resulted by means of this sort of bhavana. So now what happens? This results in the pleasure. When this bhavana is there, our mind, all the ideas from the mind is taken away. The mind, yes, they slip away. All the other feelings, etc., they slip away. Mind becomes totally what is called taken over by that particular emotion. So it is called a Vigalita Vedyantara Matihi. The Matihi, our knowledge, slipping away with all the other knowledge. So now what happens? That is pure, it is called Sattvodhreka, Sutta Sattva, because there is no attachment, there is no likes and dislikes, there is nothing of this sort of knowledge, that is Mithya Jnana, etc. So that can only be a pure Suddha Sattva. And when the what is called the Brahman gets reflected in that Suddha Sattva, that becomes Anandamaya. That's why from this what is called dramas, etc., when we enjoy, the pure enjoyment results in pure Ananda. That's why this is called Brahmaswada Sahodaraha. That becomes very important. Now remember, when this Brahmaswada is there, that sort of Brahmaswada cannot cannot be responsible for formation of Kashaya. Govinda Gaudapada describes, while what is called giving the description of what is called abstraction for dhyana, he just gives three important abstractions: Laya, Vikshepa, and Rasaswada. Laya, Vikshepa, and Laya means what is called when a person goes on meditation, suddenly he may what is called start in the beginning. The people without getting training, without what is called because of used to meditation, etc., they may sleep or they may get distracted, or there can be some results also like siddhis. So these things can distract them. This sort of distraction is called kashaya, because if the mind is not totally pure, the kashaya can form and that can result in distraction. But now what happens in the rasa realization, the kashayas are not formed. The kashayas are not there. Hence, when you what is called when you involve yourself in Balakrishna leela, the Balakrishna leela will what is called go on continuously think about Balakrishna. go on continuously what is called all the worldly things. We cannot be outside the world. Say, just because it is God, just because we are thinking of God, we cannot be away from or outside the God. Say, if you go to the temple, all the utsavas are what we see in our life. Say the Kalyana Utsava, Upanayana Utsava, or whatever Utsava there, which we undergo or which we experience for ourselves in our life, which we perform for ourselves or which we perform for our children or which we sing for elders. All those utsavas are performed in the temple because God is one of us. When we invite the God, God is part and parcel of us. So he will be undergoing all the things which we, what is called experience. So all the sacraments also will be there. But these things for us, they involve certain pain. But in the case of God, we just to think of them and our mind does not become what is called tainted with kashaya. And we are able to think all our activities in the life and we are continuously able to think of God without any kashaya or without any vasana being formed. So slowly we will be able to develop ourselves. That sort of development can give us the scope and the chance for continuously thinking, continuously developing ourselves. In fact, the same idea is presented when Indra sent Ramba and other ladies, heavenly ladies, to disturb the penance of Nara and Narayana who are doing penance in Badrikasrama. Narayana said, this is not possible because we don't have Kashaya in our mind. Since we don't have Kashaya, there cannot be any Sthayi Bhava. Since that Sthayi Bhava is there, all your disturbances will be waste. But when they prayed for it, then Narayana said, I will be taking what is called the incarnation of Krishna in the next birth. That is, he does not say next birth. Taking incarnation the 28th Dwapara Yuga. At that time, you can be born as gopis and you can reach me. This is what Narayana has given them. That's why gopis are said to be the great, what is called the Ramba and other celestial damsels. Coming to, and this is many sages also, coming to Krishna in the Krishna Avatara. This is how the importance of Bhavana, the importance of Balakrishna Leela, etc. are present. And one more reason for Balakrishna Leela is the Bhagavata. When Sukabrahmam describing what is called to Parikshit, the great deeds of what is called Bhagavan's Leela, the 10th chapter, Dasamaskanda, especially Dasamaskanda is divided into two, Purvardha and Uttarardha. The Purvardha is entirely devoted for the Balakrishna Leelas. So Balakrishna became very famous concept. And not only that, the word Vatsalya, that becomes the word, say for example, even in Vishnu Sahasranama, the Nama is there, 469 to 471, 470 to 472. Vatsaro, Vatsalo, Vatsi. These three namas are there. There the word Vatsalaha, Vatsa plus La. La is a suffix. And Vatsa is used in the sense of kama, fulfillment of our desires. So Vatsalaha is one who fulfills the desires. So Lord not only fulfills our desires, and what desire should be there. He only, what is called, when you pray to him, he only gives that desires that which are good for one, and thereby he is Bhakta Snehitatvat. Shankara, while commenting on that word, Bhakta Snehitatvat Vatsalaha. And the other words also, not only what is called this Vatsaro, Vatsalo, Vatsi, the context of that Vatsaro, Vatsalo, Vatsi, they also become very important because the other names, just because the names given before, Manoharo Jitakrodaha and the Swapana Swavaso Vyapi, these are the names. Manoharaha. So when the Vatsala, Vatsa is also, I mean, what is called derived in different ways. Vatsala is the common word, Vatsa plus La. Vatsa means Kama, that is based on Panini Sutra. But Vatsa also is a calf, that is the calf of a cow. And then the attachment between cow and the calf is considered to be Vatsa, Vatsala, Vatsalya. That's the relationship. Here, Manoharaha. A Vatsa is Manohara, attractive to its cow. Jitakrodaha. Remember, when the mother gets angry with the child, she is not really angry. She, what is called, imagines, or she gesticulates that anger. Shankara writes, Jitakrodaha. When he is getting angry with the demons, the God is not actually angry with the demons. Veda Maryadam Anusrutya. That is, the rules and regulations laid down in the Veda are to be followed. And since the Asuras have what is called deviated from it, the Lord wants to punish them. So he imagines, he feigns the anger. He feigns the anger. He does not have any anger in himself. So he is the one who has really conquered anger. He feigns anger. Jitakrodaha. Swapanaha. Swavasaha. So as far as the child is concerned, Mother is totally under her control. Mother is not out of control. That is while dealing with the child. Child also is under the control of mother. And swapanaha, she has to put it asleep. That is, when it is too much of playful, too much of prankish, then it is not good for it. It has to be put it under sleep. So swapanaha. In the same way, God also uses Maya to put us what is called under Maya's influence. How the mother is treating the child, those names are given. That is Manoharo, Jitakrodaha, Swapanaha, Swavasaha, and immediately along with it comes Vatsalo, Vatsalo, Vatsi. Vatsi, etc. is used in Krishna's cowherdness. That is, in that way, Vatsi is interpreted by Shankara. So, the words, the concepts, all the concepts have got relative idea, and we can see this particular thing in the what outcome because it is a regular curriculum work, and then it is immediately learnt after Ramadantam, it is said. And there are a few commentaries. One commentary is by Ramapanivada, who lived in about 18th century. And in the third canto, he describes beautifully Krishna's childhood. And we can see one or two examples. Say, for example, while describing the Sakadasura episode, Mugdha Bhava Madhurena Ranjayan. Krishna is what is called the Ranjayan. He is gladdening everybody. Mugdha Bhava Madhurena, by his childish innocence. Shaisavena Hridayam Brajaukasam Gokule Savijahara Kesavaha Shira Varinidima Pyachintayan. He forgot. He forgot his own abode, and then he describes Padanam Madhusudana Karabhyam. That is Kararavindena Padaravinda Mukaravinde. And his mother describes how she is putting him to what is called sleep. So she is a Bhurantar. Say, for example, how what is called Govardhana concept is being brought in here. Priyala Karjura Samagra Sanuhu. Govardhana is being described. Priyala Karjura, that is many mango trees and date trees are there. Paladhya Rambhavana Shobhaniyaha Nanupa Bhogaya Sutaya Maste. So all these, what is called things, the trees which are growing in Govardhana are there for you, for your enjoyment. Nanu Upabhogaya Suta Ayamaste Govardhano Nama Mahidaraste. This Govardhana is there for your enjoyment along with all the trees and other things. So as we see Jijabai, what is called bringing up Shivaji, you find Sukumara Kavya also is presenting what is called how Krishna is presented by or reared and brought up by her mother. And this Govardhana is being very much in his childhood influence, impressions. Very much Govardhana became impressed in the mind of Krishna, and he has taken up what is called later as a thing of worship or fit for worship. Even though the Govardhana worship is there very much, that is during the Krishna Janmashtami and other things, the Govardhana worship forms part of one of the important thing in the region in the Vrindavan and the Vraja and the places around. So Giri Pradakshina, as we do Giri Pradakshina in Thiruvannamalai and Trichy, etc., the Giri or Mount Kailash, in the same way Giri Pradakshina is done for Govardhana too. Okay, we can just go on what is called elaborating and then describing all the verses also. That canto is full of such verses. I have taken 10 more minutes of the next valedictory speaker's time. Thank you.